So now let's git clone this project and use it inside of our code. So let's copy the link to the repository. So let me copy this, and here open up a new terminal. So here we are here inside of the IMDB movies folder which I've created, and then here I can run git clone and then paste in the kind of code that we want, kind of repository that we were looking for. And so now let's open up the file, code space dot, and there we go. So let's here open up, we're inside of the folder, so it didn't open up the file because we were right in it. So we've got the templates, and inside of the templates we've got the cards.html. So this is the raw code that we're going to work on. So let us not change this. Let's copy cards and paste it inside of this folder. So I'm gonna paste this. Okay, let's use Ctrl V on the templates, or paste like this. So we're gonna rename this to IMDB movies.html. There we go. So now let's get rid of all of these scripts that are unnecessary, and there we go. So now instead of the scripts, first of all, what we need to do is to define the URL that we're going to work on. Const URL equals to, so now the URL of our API is right over here. I'm going to copy this and paste it instead of my VS Code. So I've pasted in, and there we go. So the next thing we need to do is to fetch the URL. So whenever we want to get an API, we use the fetch, and there are so many other methods that we can use, such as Ajax, but here using the fetch function makes it a lot easier to get this kind of URL, and it might take some time, but then after it happened, we'll get the data, and we will then change the HTML elements where we have the cards. So in order to fetch the element, we need to write fetch. Actually, fetch the URL, we need to write fetch URL, and then what we need to do is this is a kind of a promise. So in the next line we'll write .then, and then we'll write the response. So we've got the response, and then as a response we'll get the response.json. So we'll get the JSON file, response.json, and there we go. So the next step is also to, we have another .then, and this is where we will get the data, and then we'll open the brackets, and here we'll loop through all of the number of movies that we want. So for example, here we have for let. So for example, here we want the first 30 movies. So imagine that we do not want the first 250 movies. So from I equals to 0, and then I less than 30, or less than equal to 30, and then we'll need I++, and there we go. So let's open up the brackets, and instead of it, let's item. So we'll define the item in a way that we will have the data.items. So as you can see here, I will show you why I use data.items. Data is the kind of data that we get from the JSON file, and here, as you can see, instead of the JSON files, the first thing we have instead of my object is the items, right? So we'll have the items, and we'll loop through all of these all together from 0 to 30. So actually, because it starts from 0, we need to write instead of equal to 30, only less than 30 is enough. So we'll loop through all of these items and get the data that we're looking for. So here, first of all, let's define a function, but let's first call that kind of function. So we will have this function add cart, and using the function add cart, we will be able to add the elements of the HTML. So using the DOM elements, we will add the elements. So here we'll define a function to do that for us, but we need some input variables such as item dot full title, and then we have item.image, item.image, and then we need item.IMDB ranking. So if you're wondering why we will write these specific names, it's because of the JSON file. As you can see, we've got the title, so we've also got the full title, so we prefer the full title. We have the image, IMDB ranking, rating, and we've got the crew as the stars of the movie. So here we'll do the same, and we will add the item, IMDB, so B is with the small b, IMDB rating with the capital R, and also item.crew, so here we go. So we will, in the next part, we will create the function, and so this is the way we will create the kind of elements that we want. So we also need to catch the error, so catch error here, and then if that happened, console.log will console.log the error, right? So there we go. Okay, anyway, so here what we need to do is to define the kind of function in order to add the elements that we're looking for. So now let's look for the place where we will have the the kind of class that we're looking for here instead of our HTML code. So here, as you can see, we have a number of elements here. So let us first of all save this and run this as a live server. As you can see, we've got a number of cards here. So we don't want this. We want a kind of a different cards. So we'll first of all delete all of these 3 cards and also change this text right over here. So let's look at our code here, and we will see the cards, right? AR grid row and cell and cell and cell. So these 3 are the kind of cards that we're going to delete. Now let's delete them right over here. So as you can see, we've got 3 images. So we need to delete all of these 3 div tags, and it should start from the spacer 20. So there we go. And let's change the text here. This is the list of the most popular IMDb movies. There we go. So we also need to add another kind of style, because here, as you can see, we have 3 cards, we have deleted them, but they are horizontal. We want them to be vertical. So let's add that kind of CSS here. So we need a kind of a custom CSS. So now we don't need a new folder. We need a CSS file. So custom.css is the name of file, and we need to add some of the CSS styles here.